Day one of the Democratic National Convention over last night, and some just absolutely brilliant speeches. Some absolutely brilliant speeches, and some problematic behavior, and I want to talk about both of them. With regard to the speeches, first of all, we had Michelle Obama, the First Lady, who gave this extraordinary speech, just an absolutely extraordinary speech. It was arguably the best speech of the night, and one of the best speeches of all times. I mean, she was brilliant in her presentation, but the words were so powerful. Here's a little clip from it.
That is the story of this country, the story that has brought me to this stage tonight, the story of generations of people who felt the lash of bondage, the shame of servitude, the sting of segregation, but who kept on striving and hoping and doing what needed to be done so that today I wake up every morning in a house that was built by slaves. And I watch my daughters, two beautiful, intelligent black young women, playing with their dogs on the White House lawn. And because of Hillary Clinton, my daughters and all our sons and daughters now take for granted that a woman can be president of the United States.
Can you imagine what it must be like? I say this mostly to my white viewers and listeners. Can you imagine what it must be like to be an African-American living in the White House and, look around at the building and look out on the lawn and just wonder the story of those people who were enslaved, who built that building? It would be it would haunt me. Bernie Sanders also gave just an absolutely brilliant speech last night. We've got a couple of clips from that. Here's the first one.
This election is about ending the grotesque level of income and wealth inequality in America today. It is not moral, it is not acceptable, and it is not sustainable that the top 0.1% now owns almost as much wealth as the bottom 90%. Or that the top 1% in recent years has earned 85% of all new income. That is unacceptable. That must change.
So, a lot of extraordinary issues that were brought up yesterday and that will be brought up. I mean, the list of progressive issues. I've put together a short list here of things that, I've heard Senator Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, Secretary Clinton, others, progressives talk about. LGBT rights, abortion and women's rights, separation of church and state, tax fairness, drug law, health care, Citizens United, election spending, infrastructure, public schools, and ending, charter schools or that whole experiment, the failed experiment, prison reform, ending privatized prisons, income inequality, ending the war on drugs, ending foreign wars, voting integrity and voting rights, privacy in the NSA, police violence. We need a new Voting Rights Act, TPP and trade. We need to change our policies on these things. Social Security, health care for all, climate change, net neutrality, student debt, free college, immigration reform, tribal rights, fracking, new energy economy, veterans issues, big banks, end monopolies, $15 minimum wage, and card check for unions. And that's my starting point. If there's anything that I missed, give us a call and let us know. Tribal rights were not mentioned last night. There was a couple things that weren't mentioned there. I got tribal rights off Bernie Sanders' issues page on his BernieSanders.com website. But I think most of the rest of these were touched on yesterday. contrast that with the Republican 4-day hate fest, where the only issue that was actually discussed with any cogency was immigration, and that was, we're going to build a giant wall. But if you look at the 2016 platform, Republican platform, now this is Mike Pence and the Koch brothers, and the Koch brothers and their billionaire buddies. Mike Pence, the third largest donor to Mike Pence's career, according to Crew, is David Koch, or the Koch brothers. So, you know, that's what we've got there. So they're calling for tax cuts for the rich, deregulate the banks, stop consumer protections, start repealing environmental laws, start shrinking unions and union labor, no change in the federal minimum wage, or for that matter, do away with it altogether, cut government salaries and benefits, appoint anti-abortion Supreme Court justices, appoint anti-gay and anti-Obamacare justices, legalize anti-LGBT discrimination, make Christianity a national religion, loosen campaign finance loopholes and dark money, loosen gun controls nationwide, pass an anti-abortion constitutional amendment, end federal funding for Planned Parenthood, allow states to shut down abortion clinics, oppose stem cell research, no labeling of GMO foods. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. Expand offshore drilling, etc. So this is the contrast. Right? This is the contrast. And I want to get into Donald Trump and Richard Nixon in a few minutes, too. But I thought the Rude Pundit really, really nailed it. And I'm just going to share this. rudepundit.blogspot.com is the website, his most recent one. Trump, Russia, Clinton, email, and the great cosmic jokes of this stupid, stupid election. And he writes, meanwhile here, and there's a bunch of obscenities in here, which I'll fill in with. You can kind of fill them in your mind, I guess. Anyhow, meanwhile, here, our stupid, stupid election continues with Debbie Wasserman Schultz thankfully being put out of her misery. Someone's head had to roll for that anti-Bernie crap. And with Sanders getting booed for telling his supporters to vote for Clinton, while screechy social media idiots and well-intentioned street protesters say they will never, no way, no how, vote for Clinton because reasons. To which you can only say, you know who's going to get hurt by a Trump presidency? Every effing group you think you're defending with your damn purity. You don't effing get upset when we say that not voting or voting for Stein or Johnson is as good as, and don't get upset when we say that not voting or voting for Stein or Johnson is as good as voting for Trump. It's as good as voting for Trump, because Clinton is the only candidate who can beat him, and any vote not for her is a net gain for Trump. And that crap will matter in states like Pennsylvania, Ohio, and elsewhere. And yeah, screw you if you think that voting for Clinton to stop Trump ain't enough of a reason. It's enough of a reason. It has always been in every election enough of a reason. Sorry, sunshine, but that's the blankery of democracy. Screw you for not knowing your history and not wanting to do everything you can to stop someone like Trump from ascending to the White House and appointing Supreme Court justices who will screw us all for the rest of our lives. You know who agrees with you? With us and disagrees with you? Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, Michael Moore, President Obama, and a ton of liberal writers and a crap load of conservative writers, but screw them where they stand anyways. Do you think we're all just lying to you? Do you think people across the left are liars or shills, including the dude you worshipped all this time? Or maybe, just maybe, we're sounding a warning bell telling you that this crap is real. A Trump presidency is realer in its consequences than a Clinton one, however bad you think a Clinton presidency may be. Hell, the Washington Post took the really unusual step to say, yeah, screw this. Trump is a psychopath. Stop him. That's unheard of. Don't damn us to be Cassandras. Don't let us stand in there in 2017 and forward and say, told you so. Probably from ourselves in the gulag. Brilliant. We'll be back.
To watch more clips from our programs, hit the Watch More Videos button over here. And please be sure to hit the handy-dandy subscribe button so you'll always be up to date. Tag, you're it.